are only gonna be open for 2 hours.
Well, we could talk about it, yeah.
I mean, it's no different than any other day.
He is a
We're on live now.
Okay.
Yeah, she's calling in. I just gave her the number, so I was hoping she was gonna.
You guys, I can hardly hear out of my left ear.
Oh no. So Arsenio got to speak up, is what she said. She said she
I
can't hear.
can't hardly hear out of my left ear.
That's
I'll
what
hear you though.
Maybe that is.
She did text me asking for it, so we'll start, and she might just call in the middle of it, so.
Okay.
None of my business.
Mayor,
Yeah, it's true.
thank you.
He's not doing well at all. You know,
All right. Good evening, everybody. We would like to welcome you all to, there she is, right on cue. So, we'll give her a second. Hello, Miss Councilwoman Pack, you with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Awesome, thank you, good timing. So we were just calling the meeting to order for the Holbrook City Council meeting for July 8th, 2026, 6 p.m. For roll call, all council members are present, and Councilwoman Packett is joining us via telephone. Part of roll call, we've got staff here, but we also, part of roll call, want to introduce our newest recruit. If you want to step on up. Misty Hatch, do you want to let us know who this young gentleman is?
Come on up to the podium. This is Daniel Montijo. He's born and raised Holbrook. He's going to be entering the academy on July 20th. And the city of Holbrook's so excited that he's chose to serve his community. And Daniel, if you want to say anything, introduce yourself.
My name is Daniel Montijo. Thankful to be here and nice to meet all of you.
Great. Well, welcome aboard. We're excited to have you part of the team.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Daniel.
All right. For our Pledge of Allegiance, Councilwoman Tafoya will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and we will be followed by an invocation by Levi Susag with Oasis Youth Ministry. You can please stand for the pledge.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Levi, if you'll just come up to the podium.
Let's come to the Lord in prayer. Our most gracious and perfect Heavenly Father, we come humbly before you this evening, seeking wisdom and instruction, as we ask your blessing over this assembly. Lord, as our council convenes, we ask that your purposes be in mind. In all things great and small, we ask that your omniscient hand be our guide. We ask as a city and as individuals that our actions would be reflective of your character. We ask for clarity of mind as we approach the agenda, and that justice and virtue would be at the forefront of the minds of our city council members. We pray that this meeting will be constructive and thorough, and that all points will be handled with prudence and care. But above all, we pray that in all things we would be aligned with your perfect will. On all levels, from the deepest heart of the individual to our unified conduct as a nation, we ask for your mercy, grace, and wisdom as we seek to do your will. It is in the holy and perfect name of Jesus Christ that we ask these things. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We appreciate you serving our youth as well. All right, item number 4, consent agenda. This is for the June 10th regular meeting minutes, the June 24th, 2026 special meeting minutes, and the June 24th, 2026 work session minutes. Everybody's had a chance to take a look at them. Any questions, concerns? Discussion? Hearing none, we'll open the floor for a motion.
I move that we accept the consent agenda for June 10th, 24th, 24th.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any last minute thoughts? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 5, call to the public for non-agenda items. Item 6, call to the public for agenda items.
None.
Thank you. All right, we're excited about this next one, our presentation. This is our Holbrook High School Student Council doing a report on our community cleanup day. So we're going to invite Alexis Young up to the podium, and anybody else she would like to invite, and we'll let her introduce her crew. And They do have a presentation for us as well. Alexis Young is going to be next year 27 student body president at Holbrook High School, so we're excited to have her with us.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, and members of our community. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Alexis Young, and I have the privilege of serving you as the student body president at Holbrook High School. Joining me tonight is Lori, our sophomore class president, and Kenzie, our sophomore class secretary. We are also joined by our student council advisor, Kayla Sooner, whose guidance and support has helped make our community service efforts possible. Together, we represent the Holbrook High School Student Council. And tonight, we're here to share what we discovered during our recent community cleanup in partnership with the City of Holbrook. What began as a day of picking up litter became something much bigger. As we worked throughout our community, we saw firsthand the impact that overgrown weeds, neglected properties, abandoned buildings, and unmaintained public spaces have on our town. We also realized that these challenges aren't just about appearance. They affect safety, community pride, tourism, and the overall image of Holbrook.
We aren't here simply to just point out problems. We aren't here because we care. We are here because we care deeply about our hometown. We believe Holbrook has incredible potential, and we want to share ideas that can help us build a cleaner, safer, and more welcoming community for everyone. Tonight, we'd like to show you what we saw, explaining why it matters, and present practical solutions that we believe can make a lasting difference.
To start, I want to ask a question. When you drive into Holbrook, what do you see? Now ask yourself another question. Is that the first impression we want visitors, businesses, and future residents to have? This is what we saw. So, why we're here. In May, the Student Council partnered with the city for a community cleanup. We expected to spend our time picking up litter. Instead, we find ourselves fighting through overgrown weeds just to reach the trash beneath them. During the cleanup, we expected to spend most of our time picking up litter. Instead, we found ourselves fighting through overgrown weeds just to reach the trash underneath them. In some areas, the weeds were so thick that we were getting scratched and cut while trying to clean our own community. We even noticed the trash getting shredded into pieces because it was stuck in the weeds, making the problem even worse. That's when we realized the weeds aren't just an appearance issue, they're part of the reason trash continues to build up. Our biggest issue isn't just litter. It's weeds, neglected properties, abandoned buildings, empty lots, and poor first impressions. As we traveled throughout Holbrook, we documented overgrown weeds, litter hidden beneath them, neglected homes, abandoned buildings, and town entrances that don't reflect the pride our community has. These pictures represent only a portion of what we found. Pictures, lots of pictures. Weeds, trash, abandoned buildings, broken sidewalks, town entrances, vacant lots. These are only a portion of the areas we documented.
Research has found that neglected areas tend to attract more litter and vandalism. Because they signal that no one is paying attention. This idea is also often called the broken window theory. Explain. The weeds hit high trash attracts more trash, area becomes neglected, and people stop caring. At first glance, weeds may seem like a cosmic issue, but they affect much more than how our town looks and affect safety. During our community cleanup, we experienced this firsthand. In several areas, the weeds were so overgrown that we had to push through them just to reach the trash underneath. We were scratched and cut while trying to do something as simple to pick litter. If volunteers have difficulty safely accessing these areas, it's easy to imagine how challenging it can be for children, older adults, and anyone walking nearby. Overgrown weeds have also created additional concerns. They can become a fire hazard, especially here in the northeast Arizona where dry conditions are common. They can block visibility of interstates and along roadways, making it harder for drivers They can block visibility at making it harder for drivers and pedestrians to see clearly. They also provide places for trash to collect and pests to hide. While public spaces begin overgrown and neglected, they become less inviting for families, visitors, and community members to use. By maintaining these areas on a regular schedule, we can create a community that is not only more attractive, but also cleaner, safer, and more welcoming for everybody.
What happens if nothing changes? More weeds, more trash, lower community pride, fewer visitors stopping, harder to attract businesses, property values suffer, and young people leave. Sometimes the biggest cost isn't the money we spend, it's the cost of doing nothing. If we allow weeds to continue growing unchecked, they'll continue hiding trash, creating fire hazards, and making cleanup efforts more difficult. Neglected areas often become more neglected over time, and the longer they're left alone, the more time and money it takes to restore them. The same is true for abandoned buildings and neglected properties. As they continue to deteriorate, they become less attractive potential businesses and investors. Visitors traveling along Route 66 may choose not to stop, which means fewer customers for our local restaurants, shops, and hotels. Doing nothing also affects community pride. When people see neglected spaces every day, they can begin to feel like nothing will ever change. But when they see improvements, they're more likely to care for those spaces, volunteer, and invest in their community.
After seeing so many changes throughout our community, it would be easy to think that nothing can change, but that's not what we believe. The truth is, Holbrook has already shown that positive change is possible. We've seen improvements at the community pool, where families have another place to gather and enjoy time together. We've also seen progress with the golf course, showing that when our community invests in itself, people notice. Our own community cleanup is another example. Through the partnership between the City of Holbrook and Holbrook High School Student Council, students and the community members came together as one to share one shared goal, making our town a better place. These projects remind us that change doesn't always have to happen at once. It happens one project, one partnership, and one improvement at a time. Imagine if we took the same momentum and applied it to our town entrances, overgrown lots, abandoned buildings, and public spaces. If we aren't starting from scratch, we're building on the process that's already happening. That's why we're hopeful about Holbrook's future. Our first recommendation is to create a year-round weed management plan. Too often, weeds are addressed only after they become a major problem. Instead, we recommend a proactive schedule with maintenance in the spring, before monsoon season, after monsoon season, and in the fall. This would allow the city to address problem areas before weeds become overgrown and difficult to manage. Regular maintenance also helps reduce fire hazards, improves visibility along roadsides and sidewalks, and makes it easier for the public spaces and easier to keep the public spaces clean. Preventing the problem is often more effective and less expensive than waiting until it becomes overwhelming.
Our second recommendation is to replace empty dirt areas with low-maintenance landscaping. Since Holbrook is located in the Arizona desert, we understand that water conservation is important. Using native plants, decorative rock, drought-tolerant flowers, and desert trees can create beautiful public spaces while reducing water use and limiting future weed growth. Not only would these improvements make Holbrook more attractive, but they would also lower long-term maintenance costs and create a more welcoming environment for residents and visitors alike. Our third recommendation is to expand community beautification days. Our recent cleanup showed what can happen when people come together with a common goal. We believe these events could become a regular tradition throughout the year. Students who need service hours for school organizations or scholarships could participate. Adults completing community service could also help. Families, churches, civic organizations, local businesses, and community members could all volunteer their time. Working together not only improves our community, it also strengthens the relationships with it, and it creates a greater sense of pride in where we live. Our fourth recommendation is to create an Adopt a Block program. Local businesses, school organizations, churches, sports teams, and families could each adopt a section of town and help maintain it throughout the year. This doesn't require a large financial commitment. It simply asks people to take pride in this small part of our community by helping remove weeds, pick up litter, and report larger maintenance concerns. When many groups each contribute a little, together they can make a significant impact. Solution number 5 is to beautify town entrances. Holbrook is located on historic Route 66, one of our most recognized highways in the world. Every day, visitors drive into our community. Our entrances should reflect the pride we have in our town. Adding landscaping, native flowers, trees, updated welcome signs, Route 66 artwork, and murals will create a much stronger impression and encourage visitors to stop, explore, and support local businesses. First impressions matter, and our town entrances are the first opportunity we have to welcome people in Holbrook. This is how it could look by just adding the landscaping and the flowers. Solution number 6 is to bring life back to empty buildings. Our final recommendation is to reimagine some of Holbrook's vacant and underused buildings. Instead of viewing these buildings as reminders of the past, we can see them as opportunities for the future. Throughout this presentation, we've shown examples of how neglected buildings could become restaurants, small businesses, community gathering spaces, or other attractions that encourage people to spend more time in Holbrook. Many residents still remember the old bowling alley as a place where families came together. While that original building has been converted into a home, it remembers us of how valuable community gathering spaces can be. We've already seen how improvements to the community pool and the golf course have benefited Holbrook. Continuing to invest in places where people can gather, spend time together, and support local businesses would help strengthen our community and our local economy. Every restored building tells visitors and residents that Holbrook believes in its future. Many residents remember the old bowling alley not just as a building, but as a place where families gathered and memories were made. While we know the original building is now a home, our community still values having places where people can come together. Looking ahead, a new family entertainment venue, whether it's a bowling alley or another gathering space, could build on the success we've seen with improvements of the pool and the golf course. Starting with this hotel. We could tear it down, the city can buy it, and we can build a new bowling alley.
Route 66 is one of Holbrook's greatest assets. Every year, people from across the country and around the world travel to this historic highway looking for authentic Route 66 experiences. When they arrive in Holbrook, we have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression. Right now, many of our entrances are overgrown with weeds, and some buildings sit vacant, and public spaces don't reflect the pride our community has. Beautifying Holbrook isn't just about appearances. It's about encouraging travelers to stop, explore our hometown, support local businesses, and experience everything our community has to offer. By investing in this appearance of our town, we also invested in our community, our history, and our future.
As we looked at other communities in northern Arizona, we noticed something they all have in common. They're invested in creating welcoming places for both residents and visitors. Winslow transformed its downtown with the famous Stand-In on the Corner Park, public art, and Route 66 improvements that encourage travelers to stop and explore. Williams has embraced its Route 66 history with restored storefronts, seasonal flowers, events, and a walkable downtown that attracts visitors year-round. Flagstaff has invested in beautified streets, public spaces, trees, and preserving its historic downtown while supporting local businesses. Holbrook has just as much history and character. With our location on historic Route 66, the Painted Desert, Petrified Forest National Park, and our unique attractions, we already have the foundation. We believe that by investing in beautification and revitalization, Holbrook can become another destination that people remember, not just another place they can drive through. As student council, we don't want tonight's presentation to be the end of this conversation. We want it to be the beginning of continued action. We are committed to strengthening our partnership with the City of Holbrook by continuing to organize community cleanups, recruiting student volunteers, and encouraging more young people to take pride in our hometown. We also are committed to helping organize beautification projects, promoting volunteer opportunities, and working with local organizations and businesses whenever possible. We know that meaningful change doesn't happen because of one person or one group. It happens when an entire community works together towards a common goal. As student leaders, we care deeply about Holbrook because this is our home. We want to be part of creating a community that future students will be proud to grow up in, and we're ready to continue doing our part. One of the greatest strengths of Holbrook is its people. We believe improving our community isn't something the city has to do alone. It can be a community effort. Students can earn service hours while helping with cleanups and beautification projects. Adults completing community service can also make a meaningful contribution. Local businesses, churches, civic organizations, sports teams, clubs, families, and volunteers all have the opportunity to be a part of creating positive change. By working together, we can plant flowers, remove weeds, help maintain public spaces, and keep our community looking its best throughout the year. When everyone contributes in small ways, those efforts add up to something much bigger. Community involvement doesn't just improve on how our town looks, it builds pride, strengthens relationships, and reminds us that Holbrook is a community worth investing in.
One question you may be asking is, how will we afford these improvements? We understand that making Holbrook better, beautifying projects require funding, and we're not suggesting that the city should carry the cost alone. Instead, we believe the best approach is partnership between the city, local businesses, community organizations, volunteers, and residents. Some improvements could be supported through Arizona and Route 66, beautifying grants, while local businesses could sponsor flower beds, trees, or entrance landscaping in exchange for community recognition. Community fundraisers and donations could also help support smaller projects, while volunteers include students earning service hours, adults completing community service, can help reduce labor costs. We also recommend using native Arizona plants and drought landscaping. These options require less water, less maintenance, and provide long-term savings while still creating beautiful public spaces. Rather than trying to accomplish everything at once, we believe these improvements can happen over time, one project at a time, making them realistic and financially manageable. Throughout this presentation, we talked about the challenges we see in our community, but this is the part we're most excited about, our vision for Holbrook. We don't imagine a completely different town. We imagine a Holbrook that builds on what already makes us special. We see welcoming entrances that make visitors feel excited to stop. We see flowers, native landscaping, and clean public spaces that reflect the pride of our community. We see vacant buildings transform into businesses, gathering places, and attractions that build new life to our town. We see families spending time together, local businesses thriving, and visitors choosing to explore Holbrook instead of simply passing through. Most importantly, we see a community where residents feel proud every time they drive home. This vision won't happen overnight, but it won't happen because one person or one organization. It will happen because a community chooses to invest in itself. One project, one partnership, and one improvement at a time. We believe Holbrook has everything it needs to become an even more welcoming and vibrant community. We simply have to take the next step together.
As we come to an end of our presentation, we'd like to leave you with one final thought. Holbrook is more than its streets, buildings, and empty lots. It's where we were raised, where our families live, where memories are made, and where future generations will grow. This town has so much history, so much potential, and so many people who care deeply about it. Throughout this presentation, we've shown the reality of what we see every day. overgrown weeds, neglected properties, abandoned buildings, and entrances that don't reflect the pride we have in our community. But we've also shown something even more important. We've shown that there are solutions.
We know change won't happen overnight. We know every project takes time, planning, and resources, but every meaningful improvement begins with one decision to take the first step. As students, we aren't asking the city to do this alone. We are ready to continue serving alongside you. Throughout our partnership with the city, community cleanups, volunteer efforts, and future beautification projects, we want to be a part of the solution. We also believe that there are many others who want to help. Students earning service hours, adults, local businesses, civic organizations, churches, and residents who simply want to see Holbrook thrive together. We can accomplish far more than any one group can alone.
We're fortunate to live along historic Route 66, a highway recognized around the world. Every day, travelers pass through our community. We have a choice. We can let Holbrook be remembered as a place people just drove through, or we can make it a place people stop to experience, explore, and remember. Imagine a town where the entrances are welcoming. The weeds are under control. Flowers and trees brighten our streets. Abandoned buildings find new purpose. Families have more places to gather, and every resident feels proud to call Holbrook home.
That future isn't out of reach. It starts with all of us. As the next generation of leaders, we care deeply about the future of this community because this is our home. We don't just want to inherit Holbrook, we want to help improve it. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, a community that reflects the pride, resilience, and heart of people who live here. It's time for change, and we hope that begins today.
Thank you for your time, for listening to our ideas, and for everything you do for our community. We truly appreciate the opportunity to share our vision for Holbrook, and we look forward to continuing to work alongside the city to make these ideas a reality. At this time, we'd be happy to answer any questions or thoughts you may have. Thank you.
So this would be a good time to say thank you and say, I think we are in good hands for our future. So, does anybody have any comments real quick? I just want to let you know, as a city council, we set our strategic plans and our goals for the year, and one of the goals, one of the 5, is community beautification. And so this is a good time to announce as well that I was able to work with this great group of students for this community cleanup, and as we were talking to their sponsor, Kayla Cerna, we said, we know when we go down to the league conference, they have the mayor's youth councils. And so we decided for next year, we're gonna also go in partnership with the student council and make this our mayor's youth council for next year. So we will be working with you guys. What I think we'll do, instead of taking more time tonight, we're gonna invite you to a work session and let's hash out some of these ideas, and we're gonna hold you to that commitment with the student council being able to commit, and we appreciate you adding that. So thank you all. We appreciate you being here tonight. You did a great job. So thank you. All right, with that, we'd like to open the floor for a motion to go into a public hearing in regards to the 26-27 primary property tax and also the 26-27 final budget. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to open a public hearing for the 26-27 primary property tax and 26-27 final budget.
A second?
Second.
You have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. All right.
Aye.
Thank you, Councilwoman Pack. All right, so is there anybody in the audience that's here for the primary property tax? All right, is there anybody in the audience here for the 26-27 final budget? All right, seeing and hearing none, we'll open the floor for a motion to close out of the public hearing and go back into our regular meeting.
I make a motion to close out public hearing and go back into our regular meeting. I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. All right, we're back into our regular meeting, which is new business, which A is ordinance 26-05. This is a first reading. There was a little bit of a typo on our tab under just the background and discussion. So we held a primary property tax levy and a budget public hearing. So we are doing just the first readings, which means there is no vote on the property tax ordinance. So I will go ahead and read that by heading. Ordinance 26-05, an ordinance of the City of Holbrook, Arizona, levying a primary property tax upon the assessed valuation of property located within the city subject to taxation for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027. And just for the public's information, this is the same tax rate as last year. There's no increase in this tax. So, anybody have any questions, comments, concerns?
Is there an increase last year in it?
I don't
No,
believe there was an
it
increase
remained the
last year.
same last year.
Yeah.
The rate changed, but there was more value. So we actually paid a smaller rate with the same amount.
It says it'll be an increase of $120,000. Where's that coming from?
Because property values have increased. The rate hasn't changed, but property values have.
Right.
And those are based on the assessments of the county. So that's probably where the confusion is. So thank you for the clarification on that. So the rate hasn't changed, just property values have. So we will have a special meeting on July 22nd to do the second reading. That is when we're going to have a vote on that. And so we do welcome anybody from the public, if they do have any concerns, to come and speak, and they can do a call to the audience.
Which is 2 weeks from tonight.
2 weeks from tonight. So tonight is just to kind of get some questions from the council, any concerns, anything they want to address. They can also go, the city manager, I felt the mention was excused.
Is there gonna be like a notification in the papers?
There should be, yes. So we'll double check. We'll make sure there is. So
All right,
thank you. So, all right.
it's on Facebook.
So,
I
all right.
mean, Michael, on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the county appraises your property higher and higher and higher every time you go, and I mean, I've totally been against that also, but I don't see how you're gonna make that decrease. Never happens. We always increase it. We never decrease it, so
We could
I would love to see it.
make a motion.
Well, tonight's not a motion, but
Yeah.
next week you can make a
Yeah,
motion
next
to
week you
decrease
could make a motion to decrease it.
the percentage.
I will do that.
I'll second it.
Good for you.
All right. Is there any other discussion for tonight on this one, on the property tax? Okay. Mr. Sullivan will be back next Wednesday, so if anybody has any questions, I'll have that week to ask him any questions prior to that second reading on the 22nd. Okay, moving on, item number 8B, the final budget. So we've, a couple of weeks back, we had a month ago, we actually approved the tentative one, which means moving forward, we can no longer change that bottom line item. As a reminder, even this budget, if we approve it tonight, does not mean that we still can't make amendments throughout the year as needed. So, is there any questions or concerns about the budget as proposed for tonight's final budget?
Yes, I have one.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm still not liking that $1 million set in a contingency fund, even though Randy says we probably won't use it for a year. So you got $1 million sitting there doing nothing. Is there not a interest-bearing account somewhere that we can put this money in if we're not gonna use it for a year? What are we doing? I mean, I'd like to see it used for something other than sitting there for a year. I'm sure there's gotta be an interest-bearing account somewhere that we can get a little bit of interest on it, instead of just sitting there.
Okay, we can find out where that money is at to see where it's sitting, if it's sitting in a.
Well, it's in the contingency fund.
Well, that doesn't mean we don't know where
do have an
it's at.
interest-bearing account, right? We have
Right.
$17 million in it, or whatever.
13 million.
13 million, but we
So,
can.
so I don't know if it's sitting there now that we still pull out, and that's why I don't know if either of you ladies know where that money is, which kind of account, is it in an interest-bearing account as we speak, which it may be, and so we can find out.
Well, it just says it's in a contingency fund, just
Well,
sitting
that's
there.
just the ledger
I know-
number,
I know
so
what it is.
that doesn't mean it's sitting at Wells Fargo, you know, it could be, sitting in a checking account, or it could be sitting in a savings account, so we just need to clarify where that is.
I'd love to see that.
So we can find out. It's most likely getting some interest, but I don't know for sure. So we will find out. But that money is also not necessarily, like I said, that could be for grant matches, things like that. So, okay, so noted. Anybody else have any questions, concerns, or discussion they'd like on this budget? Hearing none, I'll open the floor for a motion.
I make a motion that we adopt resolution 2615 to adopt the budget for.
Sorry, I should have read that. So, let's hold that motion. Let me read that, sorry. Resolution 26-15 for the adoption of the budget fiscal year 2027. So whereas in accordance with the provision of Title 42, Chapter 17, Article 1-5, Arizona Revised Statutes, the City Council did on June 10, 2026, make an estimate of the different amounts required to meet the public expenditure/expenses for the ensuing year, sorry. Also an estimate of revenues from sources other than direct taxation and the amount to be raised by taxation upon real and personal property of the City of Holbrook, Arizona. I can read the rest. Does anybody want me to read the full resolution?
No.
Okay. Sorry, with that, I will go ahead and open the floor. Would you like to read?
I make a motion that we adopt the resolution 2615 to adopt the budget for 2027.
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a roll call vote.
Councilmember Black?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nilsson?
Aye.
Councilmember Pacheco?
Aye.
Councilmember Pack?
Aye.
Councilmember Ferguson?
Aye.
Councilmember Tafoya?
Aye.
Mayor Smith?
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. All right. Item number 10, summary of current events. I'm going to defer to go last. And I'm going to go to Councilwoman Tafoya so she doesn't get upset with me.
I won't.
Just kidding. But no,
I
it's
didn't
only fair,
even
no?
get anything prepared because I knew you were going to go. So, but the 4th of July was outstanding. The bike parade was a huge success. There was several kids that followed the fire truck. All the games that they set up over at the park, there was great attendance on that. The barbecue was great. Fireworks, as always, were a great show that the firemen put on. So it was, if you missed out, you better make plans for next year because it's always a great day in Holbrook on the 4th of July.
I have a question. That's every year that.
I'm sorry.
Whatever they make at the.
I'll clarify that in a minute. We're technically not supposed to get questions from the audience, but I will bring that up in mind. Fair enough? So, all right. Is that all?
I think that's it.
Councilwoman Pacheco.
I have nothing. I'm not good at that one.
You're all right. Vice Mayor Nilsson.
I think he deserves a clarification.
Yep, we were going to give it to him.
The money that is raised goes to youth programs. From that, the city actually pays for the fireworks. We did $5,000, right? $15,000
I'm glad you clarified.
in our budget. But what's raised there goes to youth programs like Little League, soccer, different things,
And also
And they-
their equipment.
and their equipment.
And it goes to help pay for the barbecue for next year.
Yeah.
Right.
But the city actually pays for
The 15,000.
the fireworks.
And it's amazing that they give you a pound of barbecue for $15 with coleslaw and a bun and the beans.
Yeah.
It's really the best value anywhere, and it's good barbecue.
Yeah.
So congratulations to the fire department for a job well done.
I am glad you clarified that because I actually had somebody ask me the day of the 4th of July if the money from the fire barbecue is what funds the fireworks. And
I
said,
thought that for
I'm not.
years.
Yeah.
And I actually was like, I'm pretty sure it does.
No.
But I'm glad.
All right. So, sorry, we're just trying to keep the public meeting here. So.
That's the only thing.
All right.
4th of July, they did great.
Perfect. Thank you. Councilman Black.
I agree. I think it was very well. It was good. I was all over the all the communities during the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And I mean, all the communities it was crazy. I mean, there was more people than I've ever seen in my life in any of these communities. Holbrook did great. The only thing I would ask for, and I think I've asked for the last 3 months, that somewhere I would love to see a big American flag go up in this town. I mean, Heber just put one up, huge, and it's just so nice. We're the only small community that still doesn't have a big American flag. Can't cost that much. I don't know why we're not doing it, but that's the only complaint I have. Other than that, I think we did great.
Thank you. Councilwoman?
I got nothing.
All right.
You got none.
So.
Mrs. Mack.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Pack?
I thought the displays were great. I had no complaints. It was good. Thanks.
All right, thank you. And I too want to thank the firemen for feeding my family, because I had a lot of family in town, so we were part of that crowd. So, fantastic. All right, Mr. Sullivan is.
What about you? You don't have anything
No, I
to
said
say?
ditto. I said thank you to the firemen for feeding my family. Thank you for the volunteers that come out and help with the bike parade. It's hard sometimes getting volunteers on the 4th because everybody's celebrating with their families, and so we are always thankful for our great volunteers and the firemen.
And the Kiwanis.
And the Kiwanis for the flags down at Gillespie Park is always great. So
I have a question about his.
yeah, so for the manager report, he's not here, but we do have a question about, were any of you guys with the meeting with the J.E. Fuller on the North Ponding and Pond idea? I know part of that is that he's working on a grant to do the flood mitigations. And so there's a report that's about done with that study. And so I think part of that study was like, hey, is there a possibility of developing that pond based off that, kind of create, that flood mitigation, flood control, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have him, we'll make a note of that to see if he can address that
Is
too.
there a cost that with meeting with them to discuss all
Oh,
that?
no, this is part of the report
Okay.
and things like that, so,
I just had questions about, I wasn't sure what that meant.
yeah, no, good question, and we'll follow up with that. You can see if you can even send out an email, so. Fantastic, okay, with that,
Can we ask questions about things on here or not?
well, he's not here to answer them, so.
Okay.
So if you have questions for the manager, please email him. Won't have a lot of email access for the rest of this week.
Do you know which fire faucet is they're fixing?
Do you guys know which firehouse, guys are supposed to fix the firehouse?
Yeah,
You know,
it's the one out on McClaws.
McClaws Road
McClaws
Firehouse.
Road.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
You bet.
The quotes on the park equipment, that'll be brought to us at the next meeting. Yes. I know, this is supposed to be a summary, it was only
I know.
supposed to be clarifying
Okay,
questions.
This
I guess,
doesn't really
yeah.
have anything to do with this summary report, but before we close out the meeting, we made our motto is what we all do matters. But we're not really doing anything with our motto, except for putting it on our letterhead. We're telling it to each other. We need to emphasize this motto throughout our community and to our city workers. Because even the little things make a difference. So we need to express it not just on paper, but throughout the whole community. And if you see something, pick it up. Old yard sale signs, whatever it may be. And I think if we see somebody, a community worker or some person or whoever doing something that's not a normal type thing, snap a picture or give a big old kudos to them. Put it on Facebook, something. But we've got to emphasize this and promote it, or there's really no point in having it. So if anybody can think of ways that we can do this better, then we need to have those discussions to be able to do that.
And so Jackie, for our minutes, that'll be part of her summary. So, thank you. Keep us legit. But I agree, well, we do all matters, and so we can follow up with that and maybe brainstorm some ideas on that, so. All right, with that, we'll go to item number 11, submission of written petition for items not on the agenda.
None.
Item number 12, executive session if needed. It is not needed tonight. Item number 13, adjournment. All on the
So
floor
moved.
for motion. We've got a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Who was the second?
Terry. Thank you. All right, thank you, Sabrina, for joining us tonight.
All right, bye.
Have a good one. Bye. and ask her where she was at. All right, will one of you guys get our Facebook Live first? Thank you. All right, so we will have that July 22nd. Not discussing it now because there's too many of us. So, anyways. Perfect. Thank you, guys.